She's into superstitions, black cats and voodoo dolls. I feel a premonition, that girl's gonna make me fall. She's into new sensations, new kicks in the candlelight. She's got new addictions for every day and night. She'll make you take your clothes off and go dancing in the rain. She'll make you live her crazy life, or she'll take away your pain like a bullet to your brain. Upside, inside out, she's living la vida loca. She'll push and pull you down, living la vida loca. Her lips are devil red and her skin's a color mocha. She will wear you out, living la vida loca. Living la vida loca. She's living la vida loca. Woke up in New York City in a funky cheap hotel. She took my heart and she took my money. She must have slipped me a sleeping pill. She never drinks the water, makes you order French champagne. Once you've had a taste of her, you'll never be the same. It should make you go insane. Upside, inside out, she's living la vida loca. She'll push and pull you down, living la vida loca. Her lips are devil red and her skin's a color mocha. She will wear you out, living la vida loca. take your clothes off and go dancing in the rain. She'll make you live a crazy life, or she'll take away your pain like a bullet to your brain. Come on! Upside, inside out, she's living la vida loca. She'll push and pull you down, living la vida loca. Her lips are devil red and her skin's the color mocha. She will wear you out, living la vida loca. Upside, inside out, she's living la
When I dance, they call me Macarena, and the boys they say que soy buena. They all want me, they can't have me, so they all come and dance beside me. Move with me, chant with me, and if you're good, I'll take you home with me. Move with me, chant with me, and if you're good, I'll take you home with me.
Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, Macarena. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, Macarena.
Now don't you worry about my boyfriend, the boy whose name is Vitorino. I don't want him, couldn't stand him, he was no good, so I... Now, come on, what was I supposed to do? He was out of town, and his two friends were so fine.
Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, Macarena. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, Macarena. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, Macarena. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, Macarena.
Come and find me, my name is Macarena. Always at the party con las chicas que están buenas. Come join me, dance with me, and all you fellas chant along with me.
Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, Macarena. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, Macarena. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, Macarena. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, Macarena. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Hala tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, Macarena. cut loose, footloose, kicked off the Sunday shoes. Ooh-wee, Marie, shake, shake the glory. Oh, my Lord, come on, let's go. Loose, you're loose, everybody cut footloose. Footloose, footloose.
Bring me down, can't none bring me easy. Anyone can do it. Sing oh, eh, oh. Show the world you got that fire. Feel the rhythm getting louder. Show the room what you can do. Prove to them you got the moves. Hey, I don't know about you, but I feel better when I'm dancing. Yeah, yeah. I'm better when I'm dancing. Yeah, yeah. And we can do this together. I bet you feel better when you're dancing. Yeah, yeah. When you finally let go and you say that solo, 'cause you listen to that music, sing oh, hey, oh, 'cause you're
Hi, are we live? Are people like live on here? Team Spring Bee, I'm literally so late. Will you let me know if we're live? It looks like we are. Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to today's call. I am so freaking excited. Before we kick off, will you drop in the chat how you're winning, where you're from, what you're grateful for in the chat, where you're winning, how you're winning, what you're grateful for, where you're from before we kick off. They are letting people in the Zoom room right now. So, Erin, how are you winning, my friends? She's like, I'm finishing my
Just
text message.
day by day, yes. Winning every day.
I love that. And you guys, there's nothing worse than hosting a Zoom when you're like, hey, give us some engagement. So in the chat, thank you. Let's see. Hi again. Long time no see. Hi, Sandy Payne. You guys, Sandy Payne and I were in Dallas yesterday at a speaking event, and she got up and crushed it. I was like, Sandy Payne is going to be the next keynote. She was so good. So it was really cool. Like we said, hi, ladies. Hello, hello. So you guys are in for a treat. Today, I asked Erin to join us because her story is super impactful. And Erin is a baddie in the real estate space. Like she is always been a top producer. She's in Utah, so I personally know her. She has a great reputation. Her business is phenomenal and all those things. And so when she recently joined us over at EXP, I've gotten to know her a little bit more, and we've gone to breathwork training together and different things. And Erin was like, we put out and said, who would like to do a webinar with us? And she signed up and said yes. And then she messaged me and said, hey, Spring, what do you think I should present on? And I'm like, present on you, girl. Like you were a total badass. Present on your story, how you thrive. Like you've been a single mom of 4 kids with like babies on your hips, crushing it. And I was like, tell that story. And then, and share how you've done it. Right. And then as we got into more of a conversation, I was like, Erin, you've had a crazy year. And I was like, would you be open to sharing how this journey of the year that you've had? Because I think a lot of you guys could agree the real estate market has been interesting for a lot of us. And it's been from gangbusters to maybe a little bit more quiet. And it's one of those things that has maybe got a few people funky. Drop in the chat if you've had an off year, and it's okay. Just drop a 1 or a Y if you've had an off year that you're like, I need a reset, or I'm ready for that next level. And so I asked Erin, because Erin did have a funk, which we'll talk about, to come and join us and share how she got back on pace, because you're going to crush it this year, right? Yeah. She's like, yeah, I'm crushing it. So maybe Erin, before you kick off, maybe share about who you are, your background, and all of that, and then take it away.
Okay. So I'm Erin Mehler. I am in Lehi, Utah, south of Salt Lake City. And I got licensed 15 years ago. I've been actively an agent for 13 years. I decided to get my real estate license right after I had my 3rd and 4th child, who were twins, and they were 6 months old. So I did my real estate school like the minute they made it available online. I signed up and I did it online at night when my older 2 kids were sleeping, and my little twin babies one was usually in a bouncer and one was in my arms, and I just did it. So I started on a team for 3 years and then went solo, and I've been solo ever since.
So Erin, you started out, you did well, you started on a team, then you went solo. I wrote this in my copy, you've always made like $300,000 a year. Like you did really well. What would you say was the framework that got you to having that consistent income out of the gate?
Definitely a couple of things. I think one, I just have a driven personality. I think a lot of people on this call can relate. If you're in real estate, oftentimes you just have a personality where you're driven and you're willing to work hard. It takes a lot of drive and a lot of consistency and a lot of effort, I think, to do well. So I think most people will relate to that ambition. Money was a factor for me. my family situation, I would tell myself this story. Either I have to start making money or we're going to have to sell our house and we're going to have to move to a condo in Eagle Mountain, which Spring will understand, like far away in an affordable area where I lived. And I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to raise my kids in the house that we were in. So I knew I needed to start making some extra income. And I had this mentality that if I'm going to work and I'm going to be away from my kids to work, I want to make as much money as possible. I'm not going to do it for $12 an hour. I'm going to make as much money as I can possibly make if I'm going to be away from them while I'm raising them. So
I love that. You just have always been driven. You've always done well. I've known your name, you've crushed it. So, and I know you have slides in a presentation, so I'm going to let you do that. But I want to ask and tell me if you're like, I'm not going to talk about this, but I want to know like what happened, and not necessarily that there was anything that happened, but I think what I'm trying to get my point of here, like you kind of went from super consistent to maybe having a little bit of an off moment, which we've all been there, right? What
yeah.
happened? Was it just like everything? Was it the market? Like, where did you get more comfortable? Like, what was it that kind of put you in this like, oh shit?
Well, it's funny because, and I'll talk about this too in my presentation, but I think there's two things. Like one, the consistency of doing the same amount every year and never really growing beyond that, even though I wanted to earn more every year. The story that I told myself was, I'm gonna earn this amount right now because I'm kind of maxed out on time while I'm raising my kids. And then when they get older and I'm not in mom mode all the time as they become adults, then I'll take it to the next level. So guess what happened? For all these years, I stayed in the same place because I was telling myself I had to stay in the same place while I was raising kids. What's interesting is my twins are 16 now and they have driver's licenses. So my life is drastically different than when I was driving teenagers around. My older two are adults and they're out of the house. And I'm earning more money, but I'm not really that much busier. So isn't it
Yeah.
interesting? I shifted the way that I'm doing things and I'm still as busy as I was before. I've just shifted the way that I did do things. And I think part of what helped me this year is that I'm like, oh, well, my kids are older now, so now I can make more money. And
Yeah.
so it's interesting.
Yeah. So Erin, do you know my story on this same topic by any
No,
chance?
no.
Okay. For you guys, this message is for all of you. Like, listen, because this is human behavior. And I actually posted about this on my social media yesterday, that in life, the strongest force in human nature is how we see ourselves. It's our identity. So Erin kept on telling herself, I make 300,000, I make 300,000, I make 300,000, or I'll do this with my kids. And it was reinforced. I have the exact same story, Erin. I made the exact same amount of money every single freaking year in real estate from year 2 to like 5 years ago. So for 15 years, it didn't matter if the market shifted. I went through 2008. I grew a team, went from solo to a team. I went from solo to a small team to a large team because by the time my expenses on the large team, like I literally made the same amount of money until I realized that one principle. And the one principle was like, well, no wonder. I literally have told myself this is what I make. And so this is what's happening. And so when I started realizing, and there's a whole thing, this is like, I went through a training and understood how the human brain works and that like what I was doing. And it was so subconscious. It was literally
Mm.
such a subconscious thought process. But then when I realized it, I was like, oh my gosh, I got to shift this. Right. And so it's the same thing, but mine actually happened from a place I actually got really miserable. I got really, really burned out. I ended up growing a world that was really big, but I was still making the same amount of money I was making when it was really small. And I was like, why in the world how did I create this monstrosity? Like in the real estate team world, we call it messy middle. I was like, how did I create this to make the same amount of money? Like, I got to figure this out. And so, anyway, I just thought it's interesting. We get in life what we think we deserve, you know?
It is. The next thing I'll just mention is last year my income went down. And I think there's a couple reasons why. One is just the industry chatter. of interest rates are up, real estate agents are struggling, and you hear it from like every direction. And so if you have like a bad week or a bad month, it's really easy to start saying, well, interest rates are up and like every agent is struggling. And you look at the stats of what the average agent is doing. And so you have to avoid that stuff. You have to like block out the noise. But that was one thing that I think impacted me. And then the other thing I think every single person on this call will relate to is it was just a really hard year. Like it was one of my hardest years emotionally. And it was specifically because of things that were happening in my family that were so hard. So I was like more emotionally overwhelmed than I've ever been. And when I started to see things change financially, I just panicked. I just really panicked. So
Well, I think that being a mom, 4 kids, financially, like I think as women, we put on these armors. I know I actually talked about this in my video yesterday too. Like we put on these armors of like we're strong, we got it. Like and it's because we got, and even on the financial, we're like we got to cover it, you know. And when that starts to become a problem, you're like, oh shit, like this is not good. Well, I'm excited. What I'm going to do, I know you created a little bit of presentation because I asked you, I said, Erin, will you walk through what you're doing? Because you went from consistency to, oh shit, and then you pivoted it and you were on pace to have one hell of a year, girl. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am cheering you on. So I asked you today to present exactly like what you're doing and how you pivoted it. And that you could share with these guys in case there is somewhere in your life that you're like, I need a reset. And I think it's even applicable to any of it. So I'm going to go off camera. So I don't just sit here and, I'll let you do your thing and then I'll come back. We'll do a Q&A. Does that work for you?
I hope I know how to share this. Yes. So I'm going to hit share.
Your screen.
Don't think it's
And if
turned
not,
on.
guess what? I'll help you.
Okay, perfect. I think, okay, and then how do I shift my camera here?
You won't have to shift your camera. So if you can just
won't.
go to share screen, and then it will, are you sharing your screen?
I think so. No, I guess not. Well,
You want it?
I can talk about it. Start share maybe.
Yep, there you go. Start
Okay,
share.
here we go. Desktop one, share. Sorry, guys.
She's like,
Obviously, like I don't have anything perfected, so I apologize.
and then there's me. I
It's
spend my
coming.
whole day on Zoom. Like it is like I sit in this
So
chair
you're like,
and
it's super easy. Yeah.
I can
Okay,
help
so
you.
just
Click share, and then you click the share button, and then whatever window or screen you're trying to share, you push share screen.
okay. Okay. Is that working? No?
No, just see your beautiful face.
Okay.
If it's easier,
Okay,
for
well,
you,
I'll just talk to you guys about this. I have slides, but I'll just talk to you about it. Then you can see my face and everything. So I told you about my 4 kids. When I started in real estate, they were not like, I guess when I closed my first transaction, they were 9, 7, and my twins were 3 years old. And so I closed my very first deal in February of 2012. And for the first few years, I was on a real estate team. I did well. I made my first year like $87,000. So as you can imagine, being in like a difficult spot financially and knowing that I had to do something, making $80,000 my first year was pretty impactful for my family. So I continued to make like over $100,000 for probably the next like 5 years. And then I got into that $300,000 range. And I remember specifically what I did to shift back then too. So I'll tell you really quickly what I specifically did to shift back then is I started showing up to the office regularly. I had kind of been like going back and forth between home and whatever. And I just started showing up regularly. And that made a huge difference, having consistent office hours. So I have this really cool slide that I was going to show you that maybe I'm grateful that I didn't. But basically last year I had made the year before I had made $340,000 in 2023. And in 2024, my income dropped to $250,000. And when you're making consistently $300,000 a year, you live life at a certain standard. And so while $250,000 is a significant amount of money, for me, it took a huge hit. And so by the next, like by the beginning of, or I guess the end of 2024, I had late payments on my mortgage in October, November. I paid on time in December, but then January, February, and March this year, I was still behind. So this is like very, very recent. And I had gone from being consistently successful to really struggling. But I last year when I realized things were getting out of control and I felt really out of control, I around August of last year was like, something's got to shift, something's got to change. And I had been in an environment with my brokerage where it was really mindset oriented. So I wasn't like a stranger to personal development and mindset. And I kind of knew what I was supposed to be doing. I just wasn't doing it. So I got to work, and I will show you, I'm glad I brought this, but I started a journal. I'm a big journaler, and I started a journal last August. So it was August 15th of last year. I'll just hold this up really quick so you can see, but I started this journal, and I do this all the time. I'll like buy a notebook at Target and just start writing in it. So this journal is from August of last year to January this year. And there's a few pages I'm going to show you and read to you from. So my title of this very first post when I was like, I'm done, is expose the lies. Like, what am I lying to myself about? Where am I stuck? What stories am I telling myself? I've got to get my head out of the gutter. And so I had been telling go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I stop you right there?
Yeah.
Because I think this is impactful, and I think now, like, let's just you and I jump in a convo. You can go through your presentation, but
Okay.
I think like that alone, where you're saying expose the lies, and when you say expose the lies, it's like, what are you actually telling yourself? That's exactly what you just said. Like, what is it you're telling yourself? Because you know what to do, right? Like, you know how to, we all on this call know how to sell a house. Like, there's not rocket science. So, to your point, like, what is my thought pattern? Like, what am I saying to myself? Right?
Well, I will tell you what I was saying to myself. I was saying to myself, like, I'm running out of money. My credit cards are stacking up. I'm not going to be able to pay my house payment. My oldest daughter also got married, and I was paying for a wedding. I had like a lot of extra expenses last year on a low income year, and I didn't want to fail my kids. I didn't want to disappoint. I didn't want to not meet my obligations, but I started panicking and telling myself every month, I'm going to have to sell my house. I'm going to have to sell my house. And it became like this messaging that I kept repeating to where I started paying my house payment late, which I'd never done before in my life ever. I'd never paid a house payment late. So it really was like when scary things were happening, I was succumbing to it. I was like giving into the fear, which is really not my personality. So it was a lot of outlying influences. And I'm like, if this can happen to anyone, you can be the most positive person on the planet. And when life hits you, you can really give in to the fear. And I totally did. So like there's three things that I will kind of point out. So one, I recognized that I was the problem, that it wasn't interest rates, that it wasn't the industry. I recognized like what I was made of, what I was capable of, and that I was getting in my own way. Life was only
Did,
hard because oh, go ahead.
did you do that through journaling? How did you do it? Like, what did you do?
Yeah, I mean, I did it through journaling. So like I went through and it was like expose the lies. And I had done this before in my past, like money. I started with money because that was the thing that was scaring me the most. Like, and I'll tell you what I wrote. I wrote, I live paycheck to paycheck. So what I did is I started, and you can see in pencil, I wrote what the lie was. And then I went back and in red ink, I wrote the truth. So I kind of like went through and I'm like, what is the story I'm telling myself? And I live paycheck to paycheck. And in red ink, I make a lot of money and I don't ever need to live paycheck to paycheck. Saving is easy. Like I just wrote the truth, right?
Oh,
And so
true. Which is true.
I had to
Yeah.
reprogram my brain a little bit.
Right. Well, the reality is like you don't need to live paycheck to paycheck. None of us do, right?
No,
But we get in life what we think we deserve. And so if that's what we're telling ourselves, then that's what's showing up, right? So
right.
when you say you're exposing the lies, you started journaling. What else did you do?
Yeah. So I
Yeah, you
tackled my
started.
thoughts. And then the other thing that I did, because money was such a big issue, and I think people will relate to this too, I had some really toxic messaging around money in the previous years of my life that even when I was making a lot of money were still there, but they were kind of hidden because of the amount of income I was making. But when I started to make less, it was really easy for me to see that I had some really toxic messaging around money that was really impacting me. And so I tackled those thoughts. And one of the things I did is I just went on Spotify and I found this meditation that was like 30 minutes long, that was like a money meditation that I liked. It resonated with me. There's tons of them on there. And I found one that I really liked, and I would listen to it daily in the beginning. Like, you are abundance, you're wealth, like all these messages, because what was happening is, and not just in the area of money, but in lots of different areas, the fear was overpowering. Like, I'm an overthinker, and so I would just sit in like in a circular motion, the same thoughts over and over, and I was like, I have to stop this, and I have not been able to stop it on my own, so I'm going to bring in a third party. Let's go Spotify, YouTube, whatever, and I'm going to put different messaging in my brain intentionally and change the story that I'm telling myself.
Erin, you're so powerful, because the fact that you're like, I know I need to shift this. And it probably came from years, like you said, you worked at a brokerage that they were very much into like Tony Robbins and all those things. So
Yes.
you understand. You guys, what she's saying is just the core of anything in life. I had the same thing, Erin. Like 7 or 8 years ago, I was miserable in my life. Like everything looked beautiful online, perfect family, perfect husband, all these things. And yet I was like dying inside. Like I truly just was so miserable. And I didn't really know how to shift it. And I won't go into all the details, but I hired a coach because I was like, how do I, like, where does this start? And she literally, the same thing you just said, she was like, we got to figure out what you're actually saying to yourself, because the words you speak matter, and the words you speak matter more to yourself than anything. So what are you saying? And I realized, and we all have programming, I was saying the same automatic negative thought over and over and over, these thoughts. And when I realized, so what she had the same thing, she had me write my thoughts down in the morning, at night, in the middle of the day, when I just like, what are you thinking about, Spring? And when I looked at it at the end of the week, I was like, no wonder I think my
Yeah.
marriage sucks and all these things, because I'm telling myself this really shitty story, you know? And when I realized that, I was like, okay, what is it that I do want? And I started programming. But you know, what was interesting, Erin, is I actually felt like a fraud. Like I was
Yeah.
telling, like I felt like a fraud of like, oh, I'm a money magnet, I'm abundant, all these things. And but what came to happen is it actually became, we did it enough, and I did it enough, and I started becoming that person. It shifted everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am a money magnet. This is so great, you know, but it just takes that consistency.
For sure. Yeah. So I started with just owning that it was me, that it wasn't outside sources. And then I tackled my thoughts and I started being intentional and like trying to uncover. Honestly, I've paid for coaching before. I'm in coaching again right now. At this moment in time, I couldn't afford coaching. So I had no choice but to coach myself, right? And so the
Mhm.
third thing that I did is I aligned my environment. And this was hard too. All three of these were hard. I had left my amazing brokerage I was at for a decade with the mindset and everything, because had become kind of stagnant and I just wanted to push myself. I wanted to grow. And where I went for a couple years was great. I like some of my best friends work there. It's a great company. Um, Nothing with the company at all. I can't say one bad thing about the company other than I got there and I like it wasn't aligned. It wasn't a fit for me for what I'm trying to do with my career and my life. And those two have to align for me. Like what's going on internally and who I'm around has to align. So I found leaders and mentors that I aligned with. I actually went to the Sisu event. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't even know what Sisu is, but I showed up by myself, not knowing anyone every
Yeah.
day because I knew I needed to be in a different environment. And it just happened to be Spring that was hosting this event. And so I just went, and being in that environment, there were more events that came that I just kept going to. And I made the switch. I switched brokerages so that I could be in proximity with people who were going in the same direction that I wanted to go. That was a huge thing for me, is aligning myself. And I can attest now, a few months later, like I am so much more in alignment, and that was really important to me, and that's helped as well. So
Yeah. Yeah, there's a saying, change your environment, change your life. And
yeah.
it's the same concept when I actually teach this. I don't know if you know that, Erin, but like environment is where you start to get exposed to new things. So if there's something that you want, and then you like, if there's a new experience that you want to have or whatnot, it's putting yourself in that new environment. So let me like give you context here, you guys. If you guys follow me online, this is like a surface level example, because I don't want you guys to think about like, oh, she's saying change a brokerage. It's not what she is saying. What she's saying is, sometimes to think differently, you have to put yourself in new environments. And so one of you asked, what's the training I went to? It's called Upgrade. I'll actually put a link. I'll find it and I'll put it in, but it's UPGRD and it's William Lamb. But Erin, that's the core principle of Upgrade, is you have to change your environment to change your life, because most of us, we are a product of who we hang out with. All of us, top 5 people you hang out with, our whole, our wealth is usually created by who we surround ourselves with, because you surround yourself with the same economic status. You generally like they say that the biggest predecessor of how much money you're going to make is your zip code, because everybody in that zip code is very similar, right? And so a story about this was of how things start to shift with environment is from getting in a different training. So in a different mastermind will start opening up that environment, shifts what you're doing, or even getting into, like you said, a different office, or even going on vacation. So we went to Monaco. Many of you, if you follow me, I went to Monaco about a month ago. That Monaco trip was straight up, Erin, to change environment. So it was hosted by Upgrade. It was their world event. And I'm like, why are we going to Monaco? Like, I'm a fan, but that's like across the world. Like, it's expensive. And his number one thing, Erin, is exactly what you just said. He's like, because spring, you have to change your environment to be able to see something different. He's like, you guys are all going to Monaco so you can see how easily and effortlessly wealth flows in this different environment, so you can feel it and you can experience it. And from that experience, Erin, has totally shifted my brain around like, I have a different car. I have different like expectations and standards on certain things. And like that one shift, that one environmental, so I just honor you. I honor you for being like, all right, I'm going to expose the lies. Like, what is really going on? Then you being like, I got to reprogram my brain, and going in and finding on Spotify and meditating. And then you're like, I got to shift my environment. Like, I got to pivot from this. Right. And
Yeah.
game changer.
I think this isn't even in my presentation, but I'm just going to say this. So I've known Spring for years, and it just is coincidence that Spring was a part of this transformation for me. But we went to this event in October that I could not afford to go to at the time. I did not have the money, and I had been trying to do it for a couple years. It was this breath work thing. And I think one thing that has, like, if I could really nail it down to one thing that has helped me to kind of get unstuck from where I was, it is like owning my shame. I don't know how else to say it, but I could have easily told our friend Zach that was hosting this, like, Zach, I can't make it. My schedule's too busy. But I called him and I just said, Zach, I really, really want to be there, but I can't afford to be there. I don't have the money to come. And he said, okay, I'll put you on a payment plan. I want you there. And he let me pay as I made money. It wasn't even a set plan. And I went anyway, like, because I really felt like I needed to be in that room. And that's where Spring and I reconnected, and how all of this got started. And I think if I wouldn't have owned my shame and just been honest about what was going on in my life, and I shared some other things, like I drive a car that at this event, I was like, I drive this car and I feel like such a fraud because I can't even afford to make the payment right now. But when I bought it, I could afford to make the payment. So there's a lot of like owning some things that I was ashamed of, which I know has nothing to do with like real estate and business. And I do have that stuff for you guys too. But this was this is what changed that allowed the other things to change. Once I could start like digging in deep and owning the things that people had said to me that I had latched onto and believed that were hurtful, that caused me shame, and saying, you know what, that's not who I am, and kind of confronting it instead of carrying it. And once I started like being honest with myself and opening up to people that were close that I trusted, I was able to kind of face it instead of run from it. And then I was able to like come up with a plan to tackle it. So like from that point, I'll show you this too, so you have some visuals. Later in this journal, if you use Canva, I went into Canva and I literally took like pictures of all the people I owed money to. And I put it in this journal and I put zero balance. That's not what the balance was at the time, okay? But I went through every like person I owed money to and I put pictures in this journal and photoshopped it all like zero balance, zero balance, zero balance. They're all paid. And then I went into my bank account and I photoshopped in like $1 million in my savings account and $100,000 in my checking account. And I did all this visual stuff of what I wanted. So I wasn't focusing on what it was. And guess what? This was, I'll tell you the date of this. This was in December. Zero balances on all of this now. And this was a lot of debt, you guys. Like that was a lot of debt. And in 8 months, they're at zero balances. So that, and then I'll read you this next part in a little bit. And then I got really detail clear on what I wanted, like in detail.
Yeah.
Just
So
put
I
it
want to
all
share, I want to share with you guys her talking about her owning her shame. You don't know this, Erin, but you had a breakthrough at that. You had a
Yeah.
breakthrough at the breath root, right? So it was interesting because behind the scenes of like some conversation, like Erin had a breakthrough. Like, yes, thank you, like for sharing. Because like the beautiful thing when you share, it opens up a portal if you share with the right people, right? If you're putting it out there, you're like, here's, I'm gonna trauma dump on you. No, but you weren't doing that. You were sharing like, hey, this is where I'm at, and this is what is happening, and this is how I'm feeling and whatnot. It opened up an opportunity for a lot of great conversations that probably gave you insight, and also a team cheering you on, like people that were supporting you and being like, hey, Erin's got this, like thank you so much for being real. And to your point, like I just think a lot of people hide from the reality. Like things aren't all unicorns and rainbows, you guys. I mean, there's always going to be something, whether it's good or bad. Like, and so we all have our seasons, right? And so like the fact that you were willing to like really share, like all of us in that room were like, okay, it was super powerful. And I wasn't able to be at the one because you guys had the second training
Art.
right before real estate spring break. But Brett Jennings actually came up to me and he was like, Erin had the biggest breakthrough. He's like, it was like miraculous. And I was like, good for her, you know? So
Yeah.
it was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. And I think like when you know you need help, putting yourself in situations where you feel that like I need to be in this room, I think there's a lot of power to that, to just saying I need to be in this room. I'm going to tell you another story that I wasn't planning on sharing, but so this all started like last August, things were getting bad and this journal went through January. Well, by January, I was starting to see like a light at the end of the tunnel. Like I have stuff in my pipeline that I know is going to kind of get me out of like the deep water, deep underwater. And I was like manifesting. I was asking. I was like in this place now where I had kind of started to shift my mind. And I was like, universe, God, whatever you believe in, like bring it to me. And I got this text one day and it was from a client that I had just met last summer. I helped her close on a house in July. And she texted me and she was like, hey, I need a favor. And like literally, I just met this woman the year before. I only knew her from closing a real estate transaction, but she was new to Utah. She had a couple friends here. That's it. And I'm like, okay, well, if she's texting me, because like I just helped her buy a house, we don't hang out or anything, she must really need something. And she was like, hey, can you pick me up from the Salt Lake airport on Sunday and drive me to the Provo airport, which like it's like 45 minutes to the Salt Lake airport and then like an hour back to the Provo airport. And I'm like, Sunday. That's like my day off. That's my family day. But I thought, no, if she is texting me and asking me for this favor, she doesn't have anyone else. And I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. Like she needs my help. I'm going to do it. And I didn't even connect the dots to anything. I was just going to do this favor for this friend. What I didn't know is that the universe was bringing me an opportunity. And I'm going to get emotional because this is something I still struggle to cling to and remember, but it is so powerful. I went and I picked her up from the airport. I drove her to the Provo airport. We chatted. It was great. The next day on Monday, she said, "Hey, I have a friend moving here from California that's interested in a house in Provo. It's been for sale for 2 years. And she's just wondering if someone knows anything." Well, it happened to be the owner of the first real estate company I worked for, his home, and I knew it really well, and it was a $5 million house. And she asked me to represent her in that purchase, and I helped her over the next couple of months buy this $5 million house, and that changed a lot for me this year. Understanding that the universe is going to drop opportunities if you're asking for it, and they may not show up in the way that you think that you're going to show up. So when something's coming to you out of the blue, out of the normal, like take a minute to be still before you react and listen to your inner voice, what you should do, because I could have easily been like, "Oh no, I have family stuff on Sunday. I'm sorry." And like it was a gift. It was this beautiful like answer to me asking for manifestations and different things. And anyway, it was a huge deal to me because it taught me a lesson on top of being like a huge financial blessing in my life. And it really gave me momentum. Like that experience gave me more momentum more than anything else, to where I was like, I'm going to crush it this year. And I kept like I've continued to raise my goals. So I want to tell you some boring stuff really quick, but I want to tell you, like, I made changes in business too. These things happening, the money starting to come in, gave me this like fire inside to change things in my business. I had been very, very reactive in business. I had been very much like, oh, I have a CRM that my company provides. I kind of use it. I kind of update it a couple times a year. I kind of have like my natural processes, but I got really clear in how I was going to run my business. So I became crystal clear on my focus in my business of how I was going to operate it. So I realized that my relationships were number one in my business. I know not everyone on this call, that's how they operate, but I am an SOI and referral based solo agent. I have a transaction coordinator and I have an administrative assistant, and that's it. And I have agents that I use as buyer agents when I need it. But I was going to grow and nurture my relationships. I was going to deliver an unmatched client experience. So I have been working on client experience this whole year, getting systems in place so it's consistent. So there's a process to it. And then I just decided that I am going to invest like almost 100% of my marketing money goes back into my clients, my relationships, my SOI. So that's my vision. But the point is to get very, very clear on what your vision is for your business, very dialed and very focused. So I did that this year. I put together an operations manual, and it is a team operations manual. It's not just like a solo agent, it's a team operations manual that has like culture, roles, operations, like all these different things. And I spent the time to do that so that I could get clear on my long-term vision. And then I got dialed on my back-end systems and my marketing. And I really like took the time when I had it to figure out and dial in some of these systems that just weren't in place. I didn't have automation. I have this saying now, like I run an automated real estate business. I'm the CEO of my business. I'm just changing the language that I use around my business, and it's helping me to behave more like a CEO that's running a real estate business. And I have a plan for growth so that as the income increases and the business increases, I know where to go next. So I know that all of that's coming, and I'm in the process right now. So I kind of told you how it was going last year. Let me tell you how it's going this year so far. Okay. So I have closed as of today $349,291 in commission. Okay. I have
That's the most ever, right? I'm
the most
stopping you.
ever.
You got to celebrate. You all have to drop in the chat a yay, because regardless of the dollar amount, when you make more money than you ever have, like it's cool. So Erin, you should be super proud of yourself. Okay, continue on. I cut you off because I'm like, you can't just be like, I this, and it's like, celebrate, girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have 76,587 pending under contract. And I have more that went in that's not in that number. So it's probably over 80,000 now pending. And I have $120,000 in my pipeline of upcoming listings that are going to close before the end of the year. And I have 4 months left in the year. So I'm on track for 600,000. But what's happening now that I've gotten clear and am continuing to show up daily to keep my mental, like I cannot tell you how important it is to continue to show up daily mentally. If I continue to work on my brain, because it's the number one thing that gets in my way is my own brain. I like having that plan for my business has made a big difference. So, Spring, I didn't tell you I was going to do this. I hope this is okay, but I'm a nerd at heart. I actually love systems and creating stuff. And so it's weird that I haven't done this until this year. This is probably because I was busy raising children and stuff too, but I put everything into a website with the downloads for my operations manual, for my I did this cool listing presentation with like this whole commission thing. I just have a bunch of stuff that I've put together like Canva documents, and I have PDFs or links. If anyone wants to see what I put together, you can go, the website's expertagent.vip. So expertagent.vip.
Do you want to drop the link in the chat? Like, do you have
I'll
it?
put it in the chat.
Did
And
you
there
do a
is
code? Did you do a QR code? Because I think it might have been on the back end. Okay. So just drop in the even a Team Spring B, if you're on, if you will, if you'll just drop it so you can read it, and then they'll drop in the chat for you. So Expert Agent VIP, is that what it is?
Yeah, not .com, it's expertagent.vip.
.vip, expertagent.vip. So there you go.
Okay, so if there's some stuff that I have is paid, just use there's a code. If you put in a code VIP, you'll get it for free. You can have everything for free that's on there. So just put in that code. I'll type this in here, code
The best.
VIP. Just use that code and you can download it and see. I think I put Canva templates in there, so it will take you to a template in Canva. If you want to like put your photo in and change stuff out and edit it and make it your own, you're welcome to do that. Some of it, I think it just goes to like a Google folder. But anyway, everything that I've put together is in there. And one of the greatest like blessings of all of this is that like I feel like my brain is working better. Like I feel like getting the messaging, putting the messaging in my head that I want in there, and then aligning with people who are visionary, who are big thinkers. It's like my brain is working again. My brain stopped working for a while. And I think people will relate to this, especially if you've been in real estate for any period of time. Like burnout is so real. And when you burn out, you're like, I'm not creative. I'm not enjoying this. I don't love this. This is hard. And I can't tell you how many times last year I said, I just wish that I had my drive back. I wish that this was fun. I wish that I have to fake it when I show up to meet clients and I'm desperate for closings, but like I'm not being authentic. I'm not being real because I'm miserable right now. And you want someone to come in and save you. Like you want someone to come in and lift it off of you, and nobody's going to show up to save you. Like you have to save yourself, and you can save yourself. And you just start one day at a time. And even now, like at the beginning, when you asked how I'm doing, I'm like, it's great. One day at a time. I just keep putting one foot in front of the other every day and executing one thing after another, a little at a time, and checking off my list, writing down my new ideas and voice texting my new ideas to myself so I don't forget them. But my brain is working again after putting in the work. So if you're in that spot right now, just start, and I promise you it will come back. Like you'll get your mojo back and you'll want to do it again at some point.
I love this. Erin, it's so crazy. You and I chatted. I'm like, hey, share your story. But you and I didn't chat past that, right? Like, and it's so crazy hearing your story because it's beautiful and it's just how life works, you guys, where it's like shit can get real and it can get you in your head. And it's like, how do you pull yourself out? And so she just literally walked you through that framework of like, of everything from knowing what you're saying to yourself, rewriting your stories, visualizing it. So there's a saying, what you play on the screen of your mind is a preview of upcoming events. So visualizing like what you want, right? And then as you talked about, like getting in the right environments to start shifting everything. And then the last point you made that I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, Erin, you might have caught this or not, but she did everything to align herself with like her thoughts and who she is and who she was becoming. And then she started designing exactly what she wanted with her vision and board and everything. And then the next piece of that is getting in the frequency that you attract. And when it shows up, you take it. And she attracted it. It's not how she thought it was going to be, but she attracted the $5 million because she became that person. And so this is truly the core fundamentals of how you create change and design your life. And I didn't know this was what you were going to cover, but it is exactly what even William. So our community is called Upgrade. It's based off of that training I went to, the Upgrade training. And so I'm going to throw it out there to all of you. We have a private event. I wasn't going to do this on this call because it's private, but we have a private event for our Upgrade community. If you're a member of Upgrade, you are invited to it. We have William Lamb, who helped me break through and go to that next level and teaches these principles and the rewiring of the brain. He's going to be presenting a half day. So if you are a member of Upgrade, you're invited. The links, you've been sent the link, get registered. It's an intimate event. If you want to look at what it looks like to join us, any of our Upgrade community members in Upgrade or at EXP, shoot whoever invited you to this Zoom, or if you saw it online, if you want to explore it, shoot them a message and say, I'm curious about what this looks like, because we're doing a full 2-day event in Scottsdale that your mind will be blown and you'll walk away being like, this is how you change your life. Change your business, you change your life. And it's all about getting in the right rooms and the right environments and the right conversations. So reach out to Erin, myself, or whoever invited you, and let's get you, Upgrade me, please. Yeah, reach out to whoever invited you here, or send me a DM, or Erin a DM. Send Erin. If it wasn't somebody who invited you, send Erin. She's your girl. But if somebody else invited you to watch this or whatnot, then reach out to them, and we will get you an invite to our Upgrade event, because it has totally changed my life, and it's exact same principles, Erin, that you're talking about. 100%. The only thing that you didn't say, and you probably don't know this, but I'm going to put you on the spot. So when you design what you want, and you set a goal, so Erin has a goal. So let's just say whatever that goal is, you have to reward yourself. Because when you have to make it fun. So let's set a goal in front of everybody and cheer you on. And my girl Sandy Payne's on here, and she shared how not last year, but she set a goal of 100 listings in 10 months. And she was like, I was not going to not make it. And then the reward. So let's set a goal, no pressure, but like, what's the goal? And what's the reward you want? And then we'll cheer you on.
Okay. Well, so I
Doesn't have to
really
be
like,
anything crazy. It just can be something
Oh.
simple too. Whatever you want.
okay. So, I really want to get a ranch listing, which I know is a little bit out there, but I've sold a couple ranches to friends and I just love it. And, so I really want to get a ranch listing. So let's say if I get a ranch listing before the
When
end
you
of
get a
the
ranch listing.
when I get a ranch listing before
Yeah.
the end of the year, I'm going to plan a trip and I'm going to go to the Caribbean. I want to go to the Caribbean. It's on my
Okay.
list. So I'm like, let's do that one. Let's do
Okay.
that for spring break next year. I get the ranch listing. I don't even care if I sell it. I just want the listing. I mean, I do, but like, I want the listing
Oh, we're
for the
gonna sell
reward,
it. We're
and
gonna
I'll
sell
have
it.
another reward with the sale, but that's the reward
Okay.
for the listing.
Okay. Okay. So I'll encourage all of you guys, like, design and reward. Design what you want, resolve what's holding you back, and reward yourself when you get it. I'm the queen of that. Like, I am design, resolve, reward. And it can be anything. It could be as simple as you're taking your so-and-so to dinner, you're taking somebody to Disneyland, it could be a new car. Like, there's all kinds of things, but design, resolve what's holding you back, and reward yourself. With that being said, you guys, I think we're pretty close on time. I'm looking at these chats. Yeah, so let's see. All the people under my Zoom name are some of my, yes, I love that. Upgrade me, please. Yep. Go. Yes. Whenever you reach out to whoever or send me a message, I'll connect you to somebody. Can't wait for event. Me neither. It's gonna be so good. What key things did you do that made the most impact to increase your business? So what would you say were the key business
Um,
pieces?
Okay, so I think in the business pieces, a key thing is that I was like, well, what do I want? Do I want things to keep going the way that they are? No, I don't. So once I identified that I didn't want things to go back even to the way that they had been going before it got really hard, it was like, well, what do I want? And I had to design what I wanted, and what I wanted required me to be a CEO of a real estate, an automated real estate business instead of a real estate agent. Not that either one is better than the other, it's just what I wanted. I realized, oh, I want to be the CEO of a real estate business. And there was a difference between what I was doing and what I wanted to do. So once I decided what I wanted to do, and then I wrote it all out, and that's in all the links I gave you, the manual, all the different stuff in there. Then I had to start acting like it and play the part, right? I had to play the role. So I made some changes around that. And I still have to hold myself accountable to showing up as the CEO of my business because I'm actively selling real estate. And so it's a mindset shift, right? I had to shift myself from thinking I'm reactive to my phone and my email to no, I'm the CEO of this business. And so if I ever want to get out of we'll call it the messy middle of being an agent where you're just reactive to every text and every call and every email that comes in, then you have to design how you're going to get out of that. And then you have to start being the role. Even if you're still in two roles, you have to take on two roles so that you can leverage your way out of this role into being the one that you truly desire. And like I started this journal alone was August to January, and now we're in August again. So this is like a 12-month process. It wasn't a quick thing. It doesn't feel like it's over. It feels like I'm very much in the middle of all of these changes. A lot of this is fresh. And so I'm saying that as I'm doing it and also not doing it perfectly at all. I'm just continuing to do it even when it's not perfect, even when I am in full on agent mode this day. And then I have to remind myself, no, I'm the CEO of my business. What would the CEO do? And I have to act as the CEO. Delegating is the hardest thing on the planet for me because I want to control everything and make sure that it is done exactly how I want it done to my standard. And like that sucks if you're my husband or my kids, you know? So 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 I've
But there's
really
a
had
lot of
to
us.
understand being a CEO means you delegate and you let go of the reins and you let people do things and you let them step in and put their spin on it and acknowledge that other people are really good at things too. You're not the only one that knows how to make your clients happy.
I
So
love I love it. Well, you're amazing. You guys, um, give Erin some love in the chat. Just give her a little heart for today. Colleen said that she is in the same thing, making 250K. I'm going to leave it with this 250K, feeling like she's still living paycheck to paycheck. So, Colleen, I think the first step is there's two pieces. Can you, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, can you look at your expenses and say, can I cut? Like, that's the first step, right? Of just saying, is there bloat that I shouldn't be paying for? And we all have bloat, you know? But then the next part is like, okay, well, if the lifestyle is what you want, then how do you align yourself to go make more money? And so the piece of that is again design who you want to be, design how much money you want to make, design the lifestyle you want, and then start going and getting in alignment with that person. So if you're designing, if you I'm just going to throw out a random number. If you want to make $500,000 and you're making 250,000, design what it looks like, what it feels like, who you need to be. Like, who do you need to be in order to make that happen? Because a different version of you is going to be required. Like, if you were already capable of making 500 grand, you'd be doing it. So different version, whether you need to show up early in the morning, whether you need to become the CEO of your own business, whether you need to get some different trainings, like what needs to happen to you to do that, and then resolve whatever's holding you back. So there's something that's holding you back from that. So like Erin talked about, it was her thoughts. Erin, same story as mine. I told myself I made that amount of money every single year. Of course I did. Because we all get in life what we think we deserve. And as much as we think we're like, no, that's not, it's true. We're the ones creating it, right? We create our own life. So when you start looking at like, holy shit, I got to resolve this piece of it. And then start showing up as a person who is making, again, I'm random number, but 500 grand a year. So when I wanted to start making more money, I was like, how does this woman show up? How does she dress? Is she poised? What's her education? How's she speaking? How's her energy? All the things. And I was like, what is this version of spring that has these things? And I started showing up as that person every single day. And when you get in alignment, so Erin got in alignment, then the lady messaged her and said, hey, can you pick me up? That alignment piece showed up, and then it all started happening. So those are the pieces of just start getting clear of like what needs to happen in your world for you to start resolving that. Again, if you guys, and there's probably a loop that you're running. So go to, if you're curious, I actually have all of your email from this. I will send an email with a link. There's a loop quiz you can take through Upgrade, and it will tell you the pattern that you're taking, the thought pattern. Have you taken that test yet, Erin? The loop test?
Oh yeah, I'm signed up.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I told you that I'm in the coaching.
Oh yeah, you are. Did you do self or leadership?
The middle one, the leadership. Yeah. But
Oh,
I'm
your
going
life.
through self first. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Your
let me
life.
just tell you, like, that was in alignment too. I started to get in alignment, and that was just the next thing that was
Yep,
in alignment for me. Which is
yep,
the other upgrade, the William Lamb upgrade, which he has like a free 7 day, a free 20. If you're like, if this brain stuff is really foreign to you, and
yeah,
you're like, I don't know how to change my brain. I don't know how to do that.
yeah,
William has 2 different free things that you can sign up for that are totally free that
yeah.
will absolutely help you get started. And that's all you need is you need to start.
Yeah, I have a link. Let me put it here because you guys, it's actually even specific for real estate. Let me find it. But I have a link to you guys, but to your point, it is a whole thing of when you start realizing it, it changes so Erin, I think I shared when you actually did tell me this, I forgot that I took that same training. That is what was the start of spring becoming the spring you see today. That went from the $300,000 agent to where I'm at today. So anyway. All right, you guys, I have a masterclass in 2 minutes. Today, Thursday, I am going to sit in this chair from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on back-to-back Zooms, and I'm running late for all of them. I appreciate you all. Erin, thank you. Like, you are such a gem of a human. Thank you for sharing with our community. I actually love that your slides didn't work so we could have a conversation. So thank
Me
you so
too.
much. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Bye,
of
you
course.
guys. See ya.
Thanks.